One sunny day, the Smurfs were walking near the river. Papa Smurf, Smurfette, Brainy, and Clumsy were talking and laughing, enjoying the warm weather and the sound of the flowing water. Suddenly, they heard a loud trumpet sound. "What's that noise?" Smurfette asked, looking around curiously. Brainy adjusted his glasses and pointed towards the riverbank. "Look over there. It's a baby elephant, and it seems to be stuck in the mud." The Smurfs hurried over to the area and saw the little elephant struggling to move. Its eyes were wide with fear, and it trumpeted again, trying to call for its mother. "Oh dear, we have to help it," said Papa Smurf, already thinking of a plan. "But we must be careful, everyone. Elephants can be startled easily when they're scared." Clumsy stumbled forward with enthusiasm. "Maybe we can use those long branches to help pull it out." He pointed to some sturdy limbs lying nearby. Smurfette nodded. "Good idea, Clumsy. We can also sing a calming song to keep it relaxed while we work." The Smurfs gathered some branches and, as Brainy suggested, they formed a chain. Carefully, they started to dig around the baby elephant's legs, loosening the mud. "Easy there," Papa Smurf said soothingly to the elephant. "We're here to help you." With a combined effort, the branches served as levers, and the Smurfs pulled as the elephant tried to lift its legs. The mud was thick and stubborn, but little by little, they managed to create enough space for the elephant to move. Finally, with one more mighty heave, the baby elephant was free. It trumpeted joyfully, almost as if thanking the Smurfs for their help. "We did it!" shouted Clumsy happily, nearly falling over in his excitement. The baby elephant nuzzled each of the Smurfs before rushing back to its herd, which was waiting nearby and trumpeting back in response. As they watched the elephant reunite with its family, Papa Smurf smiled at his friends. "Today, we've shown that kindness and teamwork can overcome any challenge." The Smurfs waved goodbye to the baby elephant and continued their walk, feeling proud and happy about their adventure by the river. The sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the river and the surrounding forest as the Smurfs disappeared into the distance. In the heart of the enchanted forest, where the trees whispered tales of magic and wonder, lived the Smurfs, tiny blue creatures with hearts as big as the sky. One sunny morning, as the Smurfs were preparing for their daily adventures, Papa Smurf gathered the group together. "Today, my dear Smurfs," he announced, "we shall explore beyond the river, into the far meadow. But remember, always stay close and watch out for one another." With excitement in their steps, the Smurfs marched toward the meadow, singing songs and picking wildflowers. As they reached the meadow, a surprising sight awaited them. A little elephant, no bigger than a calf, was stuck in a thick patch of mud, its trunk reaching out helplessly. Clumsy Smurf was the first to approach the struggling elephant. "Look, everyone! He's stuck," he exclaimed, waving his arms. Papa Smurf peered through his spectacles, nodding with concern. "Oh dear, it seems our elephant friend is in quite a predicament. We must help, even if it is bigger than us." Brainy Smurf adjusted his glasses and pondered. "But Papa Smurf," he said with a hint of doubt, "how can we, small as we are, help such a big creature?" Papa Smurf chuckled softly. "Sometimes, Brainy, it's not the size of one's strength, but the strength of one's heart that matters. Now, let's put our minds together and come up with a plan." Hefty Smurf, known for his strength, stepped forward. "I can use my muscles to push from the side," he suggested. Smurfette gathered a few vines and twigs, weaving them into a sturdy rope. "And we can make a rope to help pull," she added brightly. The Smurfs worked tirelessly as a team, with Hefty Smurf pushing, Smurfette tossing the rope around the elephant's trunk, and the others pulling with all their might. The little elephant trumpeted encouragement, sensing the kindness of its tiny helpers. Finally, With a great big communal effort and a hearty tug, the little elephant was free from the mud's grasp. It trumpeted joyfully, spraying the Smurfs with water from a nearby stream as if to say, "Thank you." The Smurfs cheered and hugged each other, proud of their teamwork. Papa Smurf smiled warmly. "Remember, my dear Smurfs, when we work together, there's nothing too big for us to overcome." Once upon a time in the magical forest, the Smurfs decided to embark on an exciting adventure to the mysterious jungle beyond their village. Papa Smurf, the wise leader of the Smurfs, led the group with his crimson cap and warm smile. As the Smurfs marched through the thick jungle, they stumbled upon a surprising sight: a baby elephant caught in a tangle of vines and looking very distressed. The poor elephant trumpeted anxiously, its big eyes wide with fear. Papa Smurf, always ready to help, quickly devised a plan. "We need to work together to set the elephant free," he announced in his calming voice. "Handy Smurf, can you help with the tools?" "Of course, Papa Smurf." Handy Smurf, wearing his trusty blue overalls and carrying his toolbox, replied eagerly. He began tying ropes around a strong, sturdy tree nearby. The other Smurfs, including Brainy, Hefty, and Clumsy, lined up and grabbed hold of the rope. "On the count of 3, pull," Papa Smurf instructed. Smurfette, with her radiant yellow hair shining under the jungle canopy, stood by the elephant, gently patting its trunk. "Don't worry, little one. We'll have you free in no time," she reassured, her voice as sweet as a lullaby. 1, 2, 3, pull, the Smurfs chanted in unison. With all their strength combined, they tugged at the rope. The vines slowly gave way until the elephant was finally free. The baby elephant let out a joyful trumpet, jumping around in happiness. "Hooray! We did it!" cheered the Smurfs, their hearts filled with delight. The grateful elephant waved its trunk as if to thank them, then bounded off happily into the jungle to find its family. Papa Smurf turned to his team, smiling brightly. "Today, we learned that when we work together, there's nothing we can't achieve." The Smurfs continued their adventure, knowing their courage and teamwork had saved a friend and made the jungle just a little bit brighter. And so, their story spread throughout the forest, a tale of teamwork triumphing over trouble. In the heart of a lush, green jungle lived a playful group of Smurfs, always up for an adventure. One sunny morning, as they were exploring the vast, vibrant woodland, Papa Smurf, Brainy, and Smurfette heard faint cries for help. Curiosity tingling in their bellies, they scurried through the bushes until they stumbled upon a young elephant stuck in a deep patch of mud. The poor baby elephant was trumpeting sadly, big eyes looking at the Smurfs as if pleading for help. Papa Smurf stroked his blue beard thoughtfully. "We can't leave him here, my little Smurfs," he proclaimed, his eyes twinkling with determination. The Smurfs nodded in agreement, their hearts full of compassion. Working together, they grabbed wild vines, their tiny blue hands expertly crafting a rope. They tied it carefully around the baby elephant before shouting, "Pull," guided by Papa Smurf's encouragement. Little hands might seem insignificant in numbers, but together they were mighty. The jungle buzzed with tension as the elephant wiggled and wriggled, his panic visible to the Smurfs. Brainy adjusted his glasses and pulled harder, his face red with effort. Smurfette, muddy and exhausted but undeterred, continued to lend her strength. Just as the day seemed bleak, with one last big pull, the baby elephant was finally free from the mud. It trumpeted happily, echoing through the trees. Overcome with joy, it sprayed a fountain of water through its trunk, drenching the Smurfs. The jungle seemed to hum with satisfaction as the baby elephant, now their friend, trotted alongside them back to safety. The sun set behind the canopy, lighting up the treetops in vibrant hues of orange and pink. Once upon a time, In the magical forest where the Smurfs lived, a baby elephant got lost. The little elephant roamed around, looking for its family, but all the trees looked the same, and it began to feel sad. Nearby, the Smurfs were picking blueberries. They heard rustling and saw the baby elephant peeking shyly from behind a bush. "Oh, hello there," said Papa Smurf with a kind smile. "Are you lost?" The baby elephant nodded, its big eyes full of worry. "Don't worry, we'll help you find your family," declared Smurfette cheerfully. The other Smurfs nodded in agreement. They packed up their berries and followed the elephant deeper into the forest. They walked through dense patches of trees and past sparkling streams, with the baby elephant excitedly trumpeting now and then until they heard a faint but familiar sound. "Is that another trumpet?" asked Brainy Smurf, adjusting his glasses to listen more closely. Indeed it was. They followed the sound eagerly until they came upon an open meadow. There, a herd of elephants stood, trumpeting joyfully upon seeing their lost baby. The big elephants hurried over to welcome their little one back. The Smurfs watched, their hearts full of joy. They were delighted when the elephant family invited them to stay and celebrate with a grand forest feast of fruits and fresh river water. The Smurfs and elephants shared stories and food until the stars dotted the sky. From that day onwards, the Smurfs and the elephants became the best of friends.